What's going on, everybody? Welcome to After Prison Show, and today we're going to be talking about Martin Shkreli, the pharmaceutical giant guru dude who made billions of dollars. I think it was billions. He made a whole lot of money jacking up the price of some HIV medication from like $13 a pill to over $750 per pill. Now, I know there's a lot of people who are Team Shkreli, so I'm not going to sit here and bash this dude at all. I learned my lesson from the very first video that we did. What will Martin Shkreli be like in prison? We're going to be talking about a guy by the name of Martin Shkreli. Not entirely sure if that's exactly how you pronounce this guy's name, but that's the best I could come up with. Because, folks, that is exactly where he's at, serving time for securities fraud and also conspiracy to commit securities fraud as well. Boy, that's a tongue twister right there. But it was in the video that we did, What Will Martin Shkreli be like in prison, where I said, you know, this dude's time is probably not going to be that difficult at all. This is a guy who's made a lot of money. He's going to be the envy of a lot of prisoners, especially where he's going to end up serving his time at. And folks, make no mistake of it, where this guy is serving his time at is probably one of the sweetest prisons he could ever hope to be at, or at least ever hope to have been at. Because I can guarantee you he's probably not going to be there for too much longer at all. That's right, folks. Where Martin Shkreli has been serving his time at is a place called Federal Correctional Institution, Fort Dix in New Jersey. And as Wikipedia tells it, this is the largest low-level federal prison that there is. There's also a satellite camp there, which is probably even sweeter than the already sweet low-level Fort Dix is. And it's this low-level Fort Dix prison that houses over 4,200 federal prisoners, and the satellite camp houses over 400 plus prisoners there as well. And again, like I had said in the first video that we did addressing this dude and what his time in prison is going to be like, I imagined that his time was going to be pretty sweet. The guy's got plenty of money. He's going to be sent to some sweet cupcake camp, which whether he's at the low level or the satellite camp, I can guarantee you wherever he's at is definitely cupcake type of time to be serving. And you know, the only issue I'd ever imagine this guy would have while serving time is, you know, he's kind of a smart mouth. He kind of likes to pop off at the lips a little bit. And I'm trying to tell you, I don't care what type of prison you're at, that ain't no place to be popping off with your gums at. Or in other words, running them soup coolers. Boy, that's a hot ramen noodle, right? You don't want to be running them soup coolers too much while you're serving time. I don't care where you're at. But with as sweet as the time that Martin Shkreli was serving, folks, I've got to imagine all of that is about to change. This man's time is about to go from cupcake time to literally hell on wheels. Because, folks, it was just recently that a story was published in the Washington Post. Actually, I'm wrong. It was the Wall Street Journal. Which, if the Washington Post is bad, boy, you can imagine the Wall Street Journal, they probably get way more people reading that newspaper. And you know, I got to imagine what the type of prison this Fort Dix is probably like. I bet you every single prisoner in there got them a subscription to the Wall Street Journal. But again, there was a story that was just published in the Wall Street Journal claiming that while serving time, while locked up, Martin Shkreli was still running his pharma empire. And we ain't talking about no Jesse Smollett when we talk about empire. His pharmaceutical empire from behind bars via a contraband cell phone. This man's time has been so sweet that he's been able to get his hands on a contraband cell phone. He's not using that to do any Facebook live videos like you'll oftentimes see prisoners doing on Facebook. Why would you do that? I guess, you know, you're hoping to get some girls. Maybe they send you some DMs, some instant messages. Maybe they send you a couple of shots. No, Martin Shkreli certainly wasn't doing any type of Facebook live videos, nor any other type of live streams for that matter. And you know, this guy actually used to do quite a bit of live streaming on YouTube before he ended up getting locked up. But it seems like he wasn't using this contraband phone for none of that. And as the Wall Street Journal reported, God, I wonder who told them about that. Is he locked up with Tekashi? You know, a lot of prisoners who do serve time in the feds end up testifying and cooperating, so it's no stretch of the imagination to imagine that somebody told on Martin Shkreli for this phone. And they didn't just tell the prison staff, they told the Wall Street Journal. I wonder how much money that newspaper put on that prisoner's account. Hey, Wall Street Journal, this you? Oh, good, I'm glad you accepted this collect call. Listen, I got some information for you. Shh. I got some information about that Martin Shkreli. I got some information about that Martin Shkreli. However you pronounce his last name. I got information about him. He is running his pharmaceutical empire. I ain't talking about Jussie Smollett. I don't have information on Jussie Smollett. I've got information on Martin Shkreli. The man's got a contraband cell phone. He's running his pharma. Hey, I'm talking to my mom. You can get the phone after me. Mom! Your mom now. Listen, the man's running his empire. Not the TV show. No. He's running his pill empire from prison. publish that. Listen, I'm gonna need you to send me a couple $100 for that information. This ain't for free. I don't be doing no telling for free. You better look at my pre-sentence report. I don't tell for free. Somebody told on Martin Shkreli he got caught in prison with this phone. And this is gonna lead to some big time changes for the rest of this time that this man has to serve. Now, there was another story that was published in Forbes that said since this story broke in the Wall Street Journal where Tekashi 6ix9ine told on Martin Shkreli, Mr. Shkreli has been placed in solitary confinement. This man is now in the hole. There's been rumors or apparently people who have said that this guy has been placed in the hole. He's serving time now in solitary confinement. And when this Forbes article tried to contact the Bureau of Prisons to get confirmation on this, they said that they wouldn't confirm whether Shkreli has been placed in solitary confinement, saying they would not release information about an individual inmate's conditions of confinement. But, better believe there's a big old but to all of this. And we ain't talking about peaches are delicious neither. Boy, they had some big Junies. But it confirmed that the issues raised in the Journal article were under investigation. And I can all but guarantee you Shkreli is sitting in isolation right now under investigation. Now, let me tell you something about being under investigation in prison. If they're able to prove that this man did have this contraband cell phone, which is one of the worst things that you could ever get caught with, God forbid this man got caught with that cell phone, that is a major security risk right there. And we're talking about in the federal system at that. Getting caught with a cell phone is such a security risk because they can't monitor those calls. They don't know what you're talking about. You could be orchestrating anything. And with the prison being unable to monitor that call, oh, they're gonna be mad. They don't know what you're doing with that phone. You might be trying to plan an escape or even something worse. So that is definitely the first big problem that Shkreli has right now. The second is, if they're able to prove that he was running this pharma empire while he's behind bars, a prisoner is not allowed to profit from their crimes at all. And a prisoner is definitely not allowed to be running any type of a business from prison neither. In fact, there's actually this law called the Son of Sam law, which states exactly that. A prisoner is not allowed to profit from their crimes at all. And I'm not entirely sure that Martin Shkreli's situation right here falls under that, profiting from his crime. But another part to that entirely is that a prisoner is not allowed to be running any type of a business from prison. Especially in a situation like this guy being so high profile, pretty much doing the same thing that he was doing before he got locked up, and what he got locked up for, he's still continuing to do from prison. That is guaranteed to be the second big problem this dude is facing right now. And whether the prisons are able to prove either one part of this, both parts of this, the second part of this, not the first part, no matter what, I guarantee you, old Shkreli's time is getting ready to change. From a cupcake camp to hell on wheels. And what exactly I mean by that is, there is a good possibility the punishment this guy ends up getting for all of this is diesel therapy. We've talked about diesel therapy quite a bit here on After Prison Show. Danny's talked about it. John Kiriakou has talked about it. And you can get put on diesel therapy for any number of reasons. Whether you pose a security risk, whether the prisons don't want you being in contact with the media, or whether they're just all around using it as a form of punishment. Diesel therapy refers to a prisoner being loaded up on a bus, plane, train, car, automobile. Ain't that an old movie? Planes, trains, and automobiles. They're gonna load you up and they're gonna be transporting you all over the country. And you're only gonna stay at these places for like a day, 2 days, 3 days, maybe longer, maybe shorter. They're gonna keep you there long enough to where you can't receive any mail, and you're not gonna be there long enough to be able to use the phone at all. Because when you get to a new institution, it takes a day or 2 or 3 for your name and your number to get processed for you to be able to have access to that telephone. Diesel therapy is sort of like, how do you alleviate a problem prisoner and kind of make them disappear for a year or 2, maybe even more. And though I've never personally experienced diesel therapy myself, I know Danny has, I know John Kiriakou has, and both of these guys had the same exact thing to say about this. It is terrible type time to be doing. And just to offer you a little more perspective on this situation, I want to tell you guys about another crazy incident that took place at this cupcake type of facility in New Jersey. At this same exact prison, and back in 2010, there was a major investigation that ended up exposing an identity theft ring that was taking place from this prison, involving a guy by the name of Dimorio McDonald. And I'm probably butchering this dude's name. This guy was operating a major identity theft ring from prison. 8 co-conspirators with whom McDonald communicated by telephone were also arrested. The ring targeted credit cards issued by major chain stores such as Macy's, Saks on Fifth Avenue, Staples, Home Depot, Lowe's, and others. McDonald and his co-conspirators obtained the personal information of credit card holders through customer service departments and added themselves as authorized users. When McDonald's co-conspirators went to make purchases, they showed false identification or provided the last 4 digits of the card holder's social security number and charged high-end items such as John Deere tractors, big screen televisions, snow blowers, and stoves. Companies that issued the cards, including Citigroup Financial, lost between $500,000 to $1 million. Boy, you want to talk about a prison hustle that pays? These dudes was getting hella guap from prison. And let me tell you something, when the cat came out of the bag, they damn sure made examples of these dudes. These dudes have made fools of the prison system, and you think the feds weren't gonna do nothing about this. McDonald subsequently pled guilty to aggravated identity theft and conspiracy to commit wire fraud and bank fraud. He was sentenced to an additional 14 years in prison. And this guy is currently incarcerated at a federal prison in Indiana with a special communication management unit where inmate contact with the outside world is severely restricted and tightly monitored. He's scheduled for release in 2028. And you know, I'm not going to sit here and say that Martin Shkreli was doing anything like what this guy was doing. I mean, for all I know, maybe he was trying to run some sort of legitimate business from behind bars. But I'm going to tell you right now, the prison system, they ain't going to look too kindly on that. And whether or not Shkreli ends up being placed in diesel therapy is only something that could happen. But what I can guarantee you will happen, he is definitely guaranteed to be transferred to at least a medium-level federal prison anywhere in the country. And I can tell you one thing that I've definitely learned. There is a major difference between the time that you're going to serve at one of them cupcake camps and the time that you can serve at a medium-level prison. It's going to be a whole different world, a whole different can of worms. There's going to be gangs, there's going to be checking that paperwork, there's going to be paying for protection, there's going to be stuff that's definitely going to pop off that ain't going to pop off at those lows. And with that, old Shkreli's going to have to get in where he fits in. He's going to have to learn how to either sink or swim. And you know, there's a good possibility this dude could come home with a teardrop tattoo and also being a certified convict. Wouldn't that be something crazy? Folks, I really want to hear what you guys think about this whole situation. You think time's about to get a lot tougher for this guy? You think he's going to be okay? I mean, hell, he could definitely pay his way. So, you know, he really might be all right. I don't want to sit here and say, you know, he's going to have all sorts of problems when he gets there. But it's definitely going to be an entirely different world than that Martha Stewart type cupcake camp he's currently been serving his time at. Hey, look, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did so, please leave a like and a comment, letting me know exactly what you thought about it. As always, until next time, enjoy life, the free world. Never take a moment for granted, and if you end up doing so and end up getting locked up, never get caught with a contraband cell phone. And make the most of every day. Peace!